Give me one second. So, dear student, good morning to everyone. Myself, Dr. Sujaudin Khan, Department of Commerce. Today, our topic is data and method of data collection. It is the very familiar name of the data. It is derived from the datum. Datum, it is the singular word of the data. Data means not getting the information, but data means whenever we get raw material and with the help of statistics, it makes the meaningful, that is the data. Means collection of the raw material for any purposes, that is the data, but it becomes the meaningful after the using of statistics. For example, suppose that I am saying there are number of people. Suppose that in the commerce department there are the number of students is 50 in each class. It is the meaningful. But whenever I say there is total 200 or 700 students in our department, like the commerce department, it is not the meaningful unless and until we not say in each class there is a 50 student. So with the help of statistics, we make the meaningful information, that is the data. The term data refer to the raw facts, figure or statistics collected from the various sources that by themselves may not be convey any message. It means whatever we have collect, it never say and provide any meaningful message unless and until we are not interpreted it, analyze it. It's clear? So data itself never say any message unless and until there is need to the interpret, there is need to the organize. Without the organization of data, without the interpretation of data, we are not able to draw any conclusion. And data, it is the foundation of any research. It is very important. Without the data, we are not do any work in the research. It means the data, it is considered as the foundation of the research, either in the quantitative data or qualitative data. Therefore, whenever we discuss about types of the data, so broadly we can categorize data into two parts, like the quantitative data and qualitative data. Quantitative data are those data which are measured in terms of number, numerical, and also measure in terms of number, that is the quantitative data, such as height of any person, temperature of today, and number of items sold, like that. And qualitative data, that are describe the quality, characters of any person. For example, I say you are very beautiful. It is the quantitative qualitative data. I say you are female. I say he is male. This is the part of the qualitative data. But ultimately, in the research, there is need to convert the qualitative data into the quantitative data for the decoding and coding. For example, if you collect the gender, like the 200 genders, there is a mixture of the male and female. So at the time of analysis, there is need to the code, like the one for the male and two for the female. It means that ultimately, whenever we want to interpret, we want to analyze, organize the qualitative data, there is need to the coding and decoding. And coding ultimately convert itself into the quantitative data. It's clear? So in this way, there are two types of data, qualitative data and quantitative data. May I proceed up to this level? Any doubt? Then whenever we discuss about the types of quantitative data is expressed in the number, and the sub type of quantitative data, that is the discrete and continuous data. Discrete data means whenever you present your data in the whole number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is the discrete data. And whenever you present your quantitative data in terms of decimal, in terms of fraction, that is come under the continuous data. Because in the continuous data, you have take the some data in between the two, between the range like 0 to 5, and there are number of decimals. Number of decimal data come between the 0 to the 5. So continuous data, it is represent the fraction data, and we can say decimal data. And in between the two range, there are number of numerical values group, like the gender into male and female, like the categorize the educational level, like the primary level, secondary level, graduate level, postgraduate level, and higher education. These are come under the nominal data, because there is no any rank, because there is any no rank. We can put at the top female, or we can put at the top male, as per your convenient. It's clear? So that's why there is a nominal, means categorize the data, because then gender categorized into two parts like male and female. But whenever we make order of the categorized data, that is known as the ordinal data. But it is very difficult to define and predetermine what are the magnitude between the two order of preferences. We can't measure the magnitude, length between the two order of preferences. For example, suppose that right now there is the cold weather, and every rational person prefer to take the coffee instead of tea today. It's clear? So, but we can't measure. We can make the order of preferences. Right now we are prefer to the coffee instead of tea, and it means you firstly we prefer to coffee then tea. But we can't measure how much difference between the two regarding the preferences. That's why it is come under the ordinal data, and it is come under the qualitative data. It's clear?
Sir, is there any relation or connection between the types of research we are going to pursue and the nature of data, quantitative or quantitative?
Yes. All the data, nature of data is totally depend upon the nature of the study. Whatever you want to study, firstly you have to identify your problem. It's clear? It means what your nature of the study. If you want to do your research on the financial inclusion, in that case, there is sometimes there is need to the quantitative data and qualitative data. It's clear? And any other doubt from your side? It's clear now? May I proceed?
Sir, so for collection of qualitative data, we have to use open-ended question method, right?
Qualitative data.
Qualitative data के collection के लिए we have to use that open-ended.
Again, it depends upon the nature of the study. But for the sake of convenience, there is more important to make the close-ended structure questionnaire. If you open structure questionnaire, it means ki respondent give the different types of answer. In the case of the subjectivity, if there is the problem of the subjectivity, it is very difficult to draw the conclusion. Therefore, all smart researchers want to make the close-ended structural questionnaire. it means ki like to be MCQ questions. It means ki there is no subject of the subjectivity. There all the things are objectivity. You are bound to put only one option. You are bound to opt only one option. It's clear? But it depends upon your nature of the study. If you want to do depth study, there is also need to the make the open.
Sir, but it will somehow control the result of the exam. If we don't have the subjective questions, subjective answers, and put the answer only close-ended questions, then it may be the different. It may differ the quality of the exam. We cannot consider all the aspects of subjective and active.
If you want to do the comprehensive study, so there should be add 1 to 3 questions like the open-ended. Up to the open-ended, if your size of sample size is very small, suppose that you want to do for the suppose that you want to do the emotional intelligence on the hospitality of Lucknow. It's clear? So there is the population is very small size, and if there is the population is very small size, so it means ki sample size ultimately very small. So in that case, we can give 1 2 questions at the open ended. But if your sample size is so large, in that case, how to possible to interpret it? So ultimately, it depends upon the nature of the study. It's clear? Any doubts?
सर नॉमिनल डेटा को हम कह सकते हैं कि किसी के नाम नेम नाउन्स और ऑर्डिनल को हम कह सकते हैं कि ऑर्डर में होगा जैसे 1 2 3 4 5 ऐसे
Order होगा, it's clear. But we can make your order na also. It's not necessary to make. Suppose that in the 5 Likert scale, it's clear. You want to make the questionnaire, and generally in the questionnaire, whenever give the qualification level, so people or researchers start from the primary to the higher education. But there is no any foundation. We can start from higher education to the primary education. It's clear now. Right now, the main in the questionnaire, all the researchers this time use the from the negative to the positive. Like listen to me, like the strongly disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. But before the 2 or 3 years, all the researchers start from the positive side, like the strongly agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. It's clear now? Right now, no any researcher want to take the alternative hypothesis. Only one hypothesis are given in the thesis. If you show that there is in null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, researchers write a statement that there is no significant relationship between this and that. It is the null hypothesis. And alternative hypothesis is that there is a significant relationship between 2 variables. It's clear now? Are you getting my point? But right now, if you suppose that there is no significant relationship between 2, what there is more need to the more study. It's clear? That's why right now any researcher only write about the significant relationship between 2. Already, if you suppose that there is no significant relationship between 2, then how to proceed your study? It's clear now? So time to time there is some changes in the research. It is the research. Any doubt up to this level, ordinal and nominal? Then summary of the table. In the case of the qualitative subtype, it is the nominal, ordinal. Nominal means categories without the order. It's clear. And in the case of ordinal, ordered with the categories. And good example is gender, blood group. And in the case of education level, satisfaction, like that. And in the quantitative, discrete means countable whole number like 1 2 3 4 5. There is no use of the decimal and fraction. and in the case of continuous, measurable, decimal, and possible, like in the fraction and decimal, in between any range, like 0 to 5, 5 to 10, and like that. Any doubt regarding this? May I proceed? Then, how to obtain the data? What are the significance of the data to obtain information? What are the importance of the data? So in that case, to obtain the information with the help of data, we can obtain the information. Without the data, we can't obtain the information. And without getting the information, we can't do any study. For example, someone says, in case of India, reservation is totally wrong. It's clear? No reservation on the basis of the caste. But the education, execution and implication of the reservation on the basis of the caste, not blindly executed it. It is executed after the study, after the getting the data, and our researcher, our policy maker, our government on that period of time found that almost poor people belong to the lower class, means कि poor almost, not whole, almost all poor people belongs to the OBC, ST, SC and other tribes. Therefore, there is given the reservation on the basis of the caste. But right now, this time, there is need to the change the policy of the reservation. There is need to the change the policy of the reservation not on the basis of the caste, but need to the basis of the socio-economic condition of the people. Because our researcher right now saying, our study is saying, that almost all the ST, SC people get the benefit from the reservation. And it is not necessary that almost all the poor people belong to the ST, SC and other lower classes. And it means that there is need to the reservation, formulation and execution of the reservation on the basis of the socio-economic condition and state of the caste system.
Even in Manda Commission report as well, it was mentioned that this reservation policy should be implemented only for 10 years.
Yes.
After,
I know.
After 10 years, it should be discontinued. But none of the governments are questioning this.
This is the part, actually, sir, this is the part of the political science, political system. I does not enter in the political system. Our topic is the data collection. As we know that our India is a democratic country, and in the democratic country there is the politics of the vote banking. If anyone discontinue it, so ultimately he will go outside the scene. That's why this is the continue. But I never want to enter the political system. It's clear now? My topic is data collection. It is just for the example. Live example is more suitable for you. That's why I am giving the live example. And to keep on record, take with purpose of the data, why the data is collection, to keep the record, to make decision about the important issues, and to pass information on the others. Any doubt on this slide? Then what are the importance of data in research? Why there is need to collection of the data? Because collection of data, being a researcher, we feel it is very painful. It is very difficult to collection of the data. Why it is very difficult to collection of the data? Anyone can give the answer? Why it is a very difficult task to collection of the data? Do you think it is the easy to collection of the data? No one say it is the easy task.
Most difficult.
Most difficult. Why it is the most difficult?
We cannot rely the authenticity or the what we are getting is truth or false. We cannot say quality.
There are number of factors. There are number of factors. Due to this, it is very difficult, not impossible, but very difficult to collection of the data. First one is that due to the language bar. If you want to collect the data on the financial inclusion in the rural areas and your question are in the English, how any people respond to your questionnaire? And second, very important, some person fear about that, कि my personal information might be shared with others. And very important factor, I realize in the case of India, people are highly non-cooperative.
Yes. That is the.
And fourth very important things that are totally unethical. The researcher start to fill the fake data. And there are number of software to increase your number of size. If you suppose that your collection sample size is collection is 100 and required 400, easily with the help of one software, we can increase your sample size like 400. So from the both sides, one from the respondent, there is the highly, people are highly non-cooperative, and from the researcher side, they are totally unethical. So it's my hearty request to you, please don't use unethical things if you want to do a good research. Why? Whenever you think why your policy, your research, your findings are not implemented by our government, why our thesis keep in dustbin, why our thesis and research keep away from our policies. Do you think because our research is not reliable due to the interpretation of the fake data? And in the first slide, I say the data, it is the foundation of our research. So again, my request to you, try to collect genuine data and don't use any software which makes the fake data in your study. And help in decision making with the help of data. Data means what? Information. With the help of information, we are easily enabled to take any decisions. For example, suppose that tomorrow there is the convocation. It's clear now? So how I get this? Through the information. And with the help of information, I am able, being a member of the proprietary team, I am able to do my duty in the pandal. It's clear. So with the help of data, we are able to make the decisions and enable analysis and interpretation. All the interpretations and analysis of your study, it is solely based on our data. And ensure accuracy and reliability. How to check your reliability and accuracy? There are number of tools to check the accuracy, normality, and reliability like that. So in the next class, I will who will take the testing of the hypothesis. Obviously, tell you that there are number of methods to check the reliability, accuracy, and normality, and support hypothesis testing. With the help of data, we can test the hypothesis. What is the hypothesis? Pre-assumptions. Why there is need to the pre-assumptions? Why there is need to make the pre-assumptions? Pre-assumption, it is the assumption. Pre-assume. Suppose that today, before leaving your home, saw one news, one headline. Only you read headline. It is our natural phenomena. It is our become the habit. Only read the headline. Being an Indian citizen, being a good citizen of India, only we have read headline of the newspaper. It's clear now? Suppose that before leaving your home, you saw one heading, there is the price of wheat. It's clear? And meanwhile, from your home to at Integral, before attending my class, there are number of things come in your mind. Come in your mind, like price is hike of wheat might be due to the shortage of wheat in Indian market, due to the more demand of the wheat in Indian market. I think due to the more export of wheat from across the country, there are number of things come in mind. These are your assumptions. This is your assumption, because we are not able to reach at the conclusion what are the reasons behind it, why the price of wheat are high today, and how to reach at the conclusion, how to reach at the actual factor with the help of data analysis. So hypothesis means pre-assumption which are come in your mind, and it must be related to your factors. It's clear now? And after, and why there is need to the testing of the hypothesis? Because there are number of reasons to rise the price of wheat, but one may be reasonable reasons. Out of number of thinking, one may be reasons, and how to come to the reasons with the help of analysis, with the help of interpretation of the data, with the help of organization of the data, and that is known as the testing of the hypothesis. It's clear? Any doubt? Anyone? And then facilitate comparison. We are able to compare between the two countries, in between the two states. How compare ki Bihar is more poor than Uttar Pradesh? On the basis of the information, on the basis of the data. How we compare ki Kuwait is more richer than India? On the basis of the data. And how we can say ki relatively I am poor than Saudi Arabia, on the basis of the data. It's clear now? And do you think ki which country is more developed? In one, my question is that ki it's very clear ki per capita income of Kuwait is high in comparison to India. It's very clear. Any have any doubt? Instead of this, why India is considered as the more advanced, more developed country in comparison to the Kuwait? Are you getting my point? It's very clear. The per capita income of Kuwait is very high in comparison to India. But in the case of, in terms of measurement of development, India is high developed in comparison to Kuwait. Why? What is the reason behind it?
The number of resources which are available in India are much higher, much on a larger scale than Kuwait. Kuwait has only one resource, that is petrol. India has a variety of resources: manpower, geographical area, water.
Say one by one. Water, then
Quality of lifestyles overall.
नहीं वहाँ ज़्यादा है, quality तो है.
Quality of lifestyle in terms of natural resources.
Yes.
Variety
Natural.
of.
again my request to the social science student like the management, education and commerce to study about HDI, Human Development Index. In the case of quantitative method and qualitative method, measure any country performance on the basis of per capita income. Measure the performance of any country on the basis of its national income. It is come under the quantitative method. But whenever we use the measure of performance of any country on the basis of HDI, Human Development Index, it is the mix-up of quantitative and qualitative method. Because under the HDI, there are three components like the per capita income, life expectancy, and education level, means dropout ratio of the children in primary school and middle school, like that. It's clear now? So, in terms of HDI, India is developed because in the case of India, education is higher. Education of India is more stronger than Why? All the things are related to the data. No doubt Russia is very strong country. Russia is very advanced country. 10 times advanced country in comparison to my country like India. Instead of that, people never want to do MBBS from Russia. Why? The Russian degree of MBBS is considered the poor in comparison to Indian MBBS. Why?
They don't have a proper medical system.
Why there is no proper?
They focus on army and they don't necessarily have more focus on army and such kind of things.
Quality of education. Russia is more advanced country. Yeah? It means कि ultimately quality of education is higher than India. Yes, there is the lack of the data. No people fail in any illness due to the one season. If there is the lack of the data, we are not able to get the proper information. This is the reason why. Therefore, Russian MBBS is considered as the poor in comparison to the Indian MBBS.
I couldn't get it.
I do know that Russia is very advanced country.
Correct.
Am I right? In comparison to India, but MBBS degree of Russian country is considered as the poor in comparison to the Indian MBBS, because MBBS is what? It is the part of the training. It is the part of the observation of the patient. But in the case of Russia, there is the lack of patient. The patient is very low in Russia due to the one season, due to the scattered population, due to the less pollution in comparison to India. It's clear now? It is also the part of data. Yes, and provide a basis for the future research. It's clear now? On the basis of data, if we can do any research, especially in the case of the secondary data, which is known as the longitudinal research.
Sir, one more. Sir, as we say that India is becoming the third largest economy. So,
India?
third largest economy in the world. So what it reflects as? Because political games are saying something else, but actually what is it? What is it?
India is considered the third largest economy of the world in terms of purchasing power parity. It's clear now? Then you should know what is the purchasing power parity. Do you know? Have you any idea?
Not properly.
What's your background? Management. You should know what is the purchasing power parity.
But in a proper way, I cannot say.
How to determine the exchange rate in between two countries? Any student think about that? कभी आपने सोचा कि how to determine the exchange rate between two countries?
Sir, between the transactions, between the
How we can say कि right now $1 is equal to the 90 rupees. Before 10 years, $1 is equal to 60 rupees. How it's determined? It's determined on the basis of purchasing power parity. And what is the purchasing power parity? What is the purchasing power parity? Yes,
the purchasing
I am asking to you. What is the purchasing power parity?
purchasing powers of citizens of the country.
Purchasing power parity. Purchasing means parity means sir. Parity means equality. Parity means equality. Purchasing power parity. यानी इक्वालिटी क्या है? इक्वालिटी मीन्स व्हाट? कि $1 में हम अमेरिका में कितना खरीद सकते हैं? परचेजिंग पावर पैरिटी मीन्स व्हाट? कि पैरिटी मीन्स इक्वालिटी. परचेजिंग मीन्स purchasing power means कि how to purchase, what's your power to purchase, and equality means कि what you have to spend and expense to purchase 1 kilo chicken. in India, like 200 right now. And in the case of Saudi Arabia, there is need to 6 riyal to purchase 1 kilo chicken. It's clear? With the help of this equation, you can determine the exchange rate. Means 6 riyal, it is equal to how much? 200 rupees. Means 1 riyal is how much? Divide the 200 divided by 6. It's gets now. So with the help of exchange rate, how to determine the exchange rate? With the help of purchasing power parity. And there are number of things, number of factors which affect the purchasing power parity, like the inflation of the country, like the interest rate of the country, like the return on the bond and financial market like that. There are a number of factors. I am not able to explain these the factors within 2 hours. It's clear now? But you should go through the purchasing power parity. It's clear now?
The real world of the national's currency, real world, at international level.
At the international level. What is the international level?
Means comparison of dollar and
Why? Before the using of the currency, before the using of currency like the dollar, like the rupee, like the riyal, there was the gold standard before the using of the currency. Why America become more powerful in that period of time?
They had more gold reserves.
How is possible? No talking, please.
During World War One and World War Two, they hoarded a lot of gold during the war.
How to hold? How? Why not India hold a big amount of gold?
India was never aggressor in the war, and
So it means कि they hold gold through the capturing of the country.
But they distributed bond.
Because
They sold arms to the other countries and out therefore.
yes, through the trade. In case of India, sorry, America, USA, there is more export in comparison to the import. Always, America has experience of the surplus budget, surplus balance of trade and balance of payment. And India, unfortunately, in case of India, always there is the experience of deficit in balance of payment. Except 1970-71, when there was separation of Pakistan in between Western Pakistan and Eastern Pakistan. Right now, that is Bangladesh. It's clear now. So data collection, it is the process of gathering and measuring information on variable of interest. What is the variable? What is the variable? Variable of interest. Just I wrote variable of interest. Not I wrote variable. Variable of interest means कि it depend upon your study, nature of the study. And variable, there are two types of variables: independent variable and dependent variable. It's clear now? So it depends, need to the collection of data, which is also known as the factors, and to check the hypothesis, answer research questions. What is the research questions? Do you think there is need to mention the research questions? Because without the mention of research questions in your thesis, in your PhD considered as the incomplete, especially for the social sciences. Because without the research questions, how to raise the objective? Objective come after the questions. It's clear now? The main goal of data collection is to ensure that the information collected is reliable, valid, and complete to support sound decision making analysis. Any doubt regarding this? And whenever we discuss about the source of data collection, it's clear now? First, our topic is what is the data. Up to this level, any doubt? It's very clear what is the data. I will share it. Data. Any doubt? It's very clear. Then types of data, quantitative and qualitative. Then ultimately aim how to collect the data. Even you want to collect the quantitative or qualitative, it doesn't matter. But what are the source to collect the data? There are basically two source. There are two methods to collect the data. That one is primary data and secondary data. Primary data, everyone know about the primary data means first hand information. It's clear now. And in the secondary data, that is already has been collected and used by another person for the another study. It is known as the secondary data. See this one, primary data versus secondary data. Definition: original data collected first hand for specific purposes, data already collected by someone else for other purposes, source collected directly by the researcher, obtained from existing source like the books, government site, journals, and cost in the case of purpose, collected to address a specific research problem, collected for the different purpose. And whenever we discuss about the cost, generally whenever we collect data directly, it need more time. If it need more time, means there is need more cost. It means that in the case of primary data, there is more cost, need more cost comparatively to the secondary data. And time requirement, there is more time consumption, consume of more time in the case of primary data in comparison to the secondary data. And accuracy, if there is automatically, if it took much time, it means there is the accuracy. It means in the case of primary data, there is more accuracy in comparison to the secondary data. And example like the survey, interview, and experiment, source like the government report, journals, etc. Control over data, researcher has full control over data quality and structure. Because in the case of primary data, people collect data according to his and her requirement. But in the case of secondary data, for example, if anyone want to study on the trade, international trade, or we can say commerce and trade relation between two countries, so there are number of sources to get the data, like IMF, in International Monetary Fund, like the World Bank. But there is data is not given as per your requirement. There is data given as per their system. So we are not able to control and manage the data directly. And in the case of data authenticity, high authenticity in the data collected from the first hand in comparison to the second hand. Any doubt? It's very easy. Come to the original point, like method of collecting primary data. There are basically four methods to collect the data. It's very important because our topic is what? Method to collection of data. And if there are four methods, there are a number of methods, but basically generally use four methods to use the primary data, like the observation method, interview method, questionnaire method, and schedule method. What is the observation method?
We simply go and observe what is being done. Suppose we go to a mall and we stand nearby to a wristwatch shop.
Do you think in the observation method there is required to respond from the
no response is required. We just observe as it is happening. In the real time. We don't ask.
It's clear, very clear. In the case of observation, it's clear now. There is no need to take any answer from the respondent. We can directly collect the information in the natural setting from your audience from your population, or we can say from your sample size. It's clear now? So in that case, observation method, there is no need to answer, take the response from the respondent from the audience. It means the observation method, it is purely based on the primary data. And whenever we discuss observation method, there are four types of observation method, like the structured, unstructured, participant, and non-participant. For example, if you want to uh, check the performance of student of integral university, it's clear? Check the performance. So as a researcher, if you want to check, yeah, observe the performance of integral student, graduate student like that. So firstly, you have to determine and define your total population. What is the total population? Total population means never goes the total population of India. Population size means what is your audience. It means if you want to check the performance of integral students, so what are the total population? It means the total population means total enrolled people as a student in integral. It is our total population. Are you getting my point? Then there is, it's very difficult to observe each and every person. Therefore, there is need to make the sample size. It's clear now? Sample size, need to make the sample size, and there are number of ways to make the sample size, and there is very easy step, technique and tools to make the sample size through online. How? Through the Google online, there is need to put your total population and significance level, and right now significance level might be 99% or might be 95%. It depends upon your choice, and every person in case of Indian researcher want to take the significance level at the 95%. It's clear now? So there is need to put the significance level at the 95%, need to put the total population, and if there is a 95% significance level, it means chances of error is 5%. Means if you convert the 5%, so the numerical value it will be 0.05. So if you put all the things on the Google engine, we can get the sample size. It's a very easy method. Are you getting my point? How to determine the sample size? Then sample, after the sample size, suppose that there are 700 students in our integral university, and we get through the technique and method 50 is our sample size. So do you want only to study on the 50 or more than 50? More than 50. सपोज करिए कि आपका सैंपल साइज क्या है, सपोज दैट कि आवर सैंपल साइज इज 50, तो वी वांट टू टेक मोर देन 50 और exact 50. In the case of observation method, only 50, only 50. And if you want to take the educational performance, we can there is need to make the questionnaire. There is need to make some questions which is come under the structure. It means that all the questions which are reliable to our respondent, which are reliable to our study, it must be predefined. That is come under the structural observation. It's clear now? And if we want to know the socio-economic condition of integral university, there is no need to predetermine the questions. It's clear now? With the help of observation through the unstructured, with the help of body language of our student, with the help of meet to unconditional meet to them, we can observe what are the social condition of integral student. It's clear that there is no need to predetermine. And participant, for example, suppose that the main work of CID is what? How to find the allegation, how to find the culprit when CID participate in their activities. It's clear now? How to observe through the participate. Suppose that if you want to know about myself, if you want to know about my household, it's clear. So you should meet, you should visit on the regular basis in my home, at my house. It's clear. So it is known as the participant because whenever you come in my house, no doubt with the Indian culture, I offer tea. Whenever I offer tea you, so there is a lot of questions you start to ask me. You ask your salary right now. Do you face any problem, financial trap? Why you have taken the loan, house loan, like that? So we can observe about myself with the help of participation. But sometimes with the help of CCTV camera, we can also observe about your employees. That is come under the non-participant. It's clear now? Suppose that any cricket coach want to make the checklist of the performance of player while they are playing. It is come under the observation because player have no any idea. Player have no idea कि our coach is taking and filling some form and providing some writing some detail about my performance. These are come under the observation. It means observation. It is very good method because with the help of observation we are able to get the accurate data. There is more accuracy to get the data, but there is also need a lot of training. In the observation method, whenever any want to observe anything, there is need to depth training. Suppose that if you want to check the performance of internal university, and I provide any structured questions and I send my attendant and my peon to among the student, he is not able to get the observations because he has no any idea what parameters should we take to observe the performance of the student. So it means कि another side there is need more training, there is need more educated regarding to collect the data.
क्या observation structure और participant दोनों हो सकते हैं?
Yes, why not? Structured and participant दोनों हो सकते हैं.
Unstructured और participant?
Unstructured and participant भी हो सकते हैं. We can use mix any two. It's clear now? Among two, we have to take one thing, like the structure and unstructured. It's clear? And then among two, we have to take one thing. It means that under the observation, there is need to two things, either one from the structure and unstructured, and one from the participant and non-participant. Then we are able to make the observation.
Sir, in country like India, democratic country, necessarily relevance system कितनी होगी सर observation method की? I think यहाँ पे तो the government भी करना चाहती है, majority of चाहती है.
What is the role of government? Why you focus on the government? Suppose that one thing, let me complete, then speak. Suppose that why it is more useful. In what cases it is more useful? Every method has some significance. Suppose that if I make the structured questionnaire, close-ended structured questionnaire, it's clear now? But participants are not ready to cooperate with you. Then what you should do? In that case, obviously you give up your research. Ultimately, you go to adopt the another method. Suppose that कि हमने एक questionnaire बनाया, It's clear now? And people are not ready to give the response due to the language bar, due to the illiteracy, due to the highly non-cooperation. In that case, what I should do? Obviously, you go through the observation. For example, in the case of you want to study on the tribal man or Banjara, in the case of Baba, just target to zero level poverty in Uttar Pradesh. How is possible? How is possible? Because tribal men never give their occupation like beggars. It's clear now? So whenever any question are, if people are not ready to give the respondent, in that case you must go through the observation. Suppose that you want to check IQ level of the student, you want to check the mental level of any person. Never any fool man never say I am fool. He said I am very clever. How to observe it? How to do questionnaire? It means in that case your data collection is not reliable. You must go through the observation. And
लास्ट क्वेश्चन है कि लोग प्रमाण देखना चाहते हैं, प्रमाणिकता देखना चाहते हैं, ऑब्जर्वेशन करने के बाद हमको प्रमाणित कौन मानेगा? ये क्वेश्चन है। हमने ऑब्जर्वेशन किया, पर उसके सपोर्ट में हम क्या एविडेंस देंगे? एट द लेवल वी डोंट हैव प्रॉपर डिटरमाइंड मेथड।
what's your certification regarding the questionnaire? क्वेश्चनर का भी है कोई शेड्यूल जो आप बनाते हैं उसका कोई सर्टिफिकेशन है? Who provide the certification? Our guide. So ultimately your guide provide through the observation method. There is no actually research is totally highly ethical phenomenon. There are number of software like the Chat GPT. In one week we can write whole thesis. It's clear? But क्या बड़ा?
Laws are based only on the basis of observation. Law है सर वो सारे observation पे based है.
कौन सा? Yes. Yes. Newton law it is based on the observation. So how to satisfy it? Your colleague give the answer you. Are you getting my point? So observation method, especially it is related in the case of the psychology, in the case of medical field, medicine or psychology, it's very beneficial. It's clear now? It depends upon the participant. It depends upon the nature of the study. Which method should be used? Which method is more suitable? It's clear now? May I proceed? These are the some explanation about this. No need to again discuss. Advantages. What are the advantages of the observation method? Like produce large quantities of data. All data obtained from the observation are usable. The observation technique can be stopped or begin at any time. Are you getting my point? It's sake of your convenience and relative inexpensive, and disadvantage time consuming, limited information, and extensive training is needed, just I discussed, and not used for studying past events or activities. We can't study about the past. Interview method. Second very important is interview method. With the help of interview method, we can also take get the information and data. Interview, it is the process of communication or interaction between two persons to collect the relevant information for the research. It's clear? May I proceed? Personal interview can be structured, unstructured. There are two types of interview: personal interview and telephonic interview. It's clear now? Personal interview like the interview for the appointment. Huh? It's clear now? Some don't talk. Some whenever we go face to any interview for the selection, there are some questions are highly structured, like please uh, introduce yourself. These are come under the structured questions. Why you want to join our integral university? Are you ready to uh, give your service at 40,000 rupees? These are the structured questions. But there is also some structured questions, and that are totally depend upon the mood of interviewer. Any questions asked to you, no one claimed this question is out of syllabus. You never say in the interview, sir, sorry, sir, it is beyond my limits. It is beyond my syllabus. Even question might be asked from the science to the social science student. It's clear? These are come under the unstructured. But it is very important because there is face-to-face interview. There is more reliable in comparison to the telephonic interview. In the telephonic interview, I am taking the interview blindly from the other side who is sitting there. I have no any idea. He said, yes sir, I am Falan. For example, in the case of COVID-19, all the teachers are taking online classes. In that period of time, there is only one way teaching learning process. All the participants, all the students are joined but mute the mic, and no one interested to listen to teachers. This is the good example of telephonic interview. Are you getting my point? Any doubt? Advantages क्या है बेटा? What are the advantages? Depth of information. Through the interview, we can take the depth information. Because whenever you start to the interview, unless and until interviewer asks to you ask questions, unless and until you say sorry sir. There are number of questions are asking by interviewers, unless and until you say sorry sir, I am not able to say the answers right now. So in this way, this is the lengthy process, and in this way we are able to get more information, depth information, which are used in the analysis and organization interpretation of the data. Overcoming conflict. With the help of interview, we can resolve the conflict. Suppose that any example in your mind, how to overcoming the conflict through the interview. Have you any idea? Suppose that in case of India, there is the conflict. There should be reservation or not. If there is a reservation, it should be on the basis of caste or on the basis of socio-economic condition. The reservation should be benefit, especially for the women or men. There are number of questions. How to resolve it? Through taking the responses. This is the part of interview. Are you getting my point, gentlemen? Are you getting my point? Yes, so, sorry. With the help of interview, you are able to overcoming conflict. Are you getting my point? Then flexibility in the interview. If it is not the structural, because there are the three types of interview. In the personal, there is structured and unstructured and phonic. If there is unstructured interview, there is a highly flexibility. And good interview and good data we can collect through the interview if you make the unstructured interview. And next one is observation method. Sometimes we can observe, for example, just I'm before taking the class, just I'm asking some questions to you, nothing else, but I want to observe your personality. I want to observe your knowledge, because before going to the podium, there is also need to the confidence. How to build the confidence? With the help of your, before the session, I interact with you and build myself about the confidence. These are the method. This is the observation. Because with the help of interact with you, I observe that no one know more than myself. Personal information. Personal information, sample control. We can control the sample and control respondent adaptable language. And in the case of interview, you should be keep your mind what type of your respondent. Suppose that you are your study going to take the data, take the information from the Maharashtra, and you are asking to them in the Hindi. In Hindi, how is possible? Your data become totally fake, totally not reliable. So you should keep in mind what type of people you want to go to take the interview. If you want to take the interview regarding the election of Bihar and make the question in English, not possible to give the proper information. There is need to make the questions either in Hindi or Bhojpuri. It's clear now? Disadvantages: it is costly and time consuming, bias and supervision. How it is the bias?
सर मैनिपुलेशन हम इंटरव्यू ले रहे हैं तो हमें वो पता नहीं है ना कि सामने वाला सही बोल रहा है कि नहीं, वो मैनिपुलेट कर सकता है अपने आंसर्स को, इसलिए बाय
There is the biasness. And also,
कई बार सर हम सुनना वही चाहते हैं जो हम सुनना
yes, यही मैं कहना चाह रहा था. But both are correct. But both are correct. She said कि interviewers manipulate the answer. And even in the case of arranging the interview, basically who take the interview considered as the superior to the others, superior to the respondent. In that case, he want to take the answer what he want to listen. जैसे अगर कुछ हमें बताया कि do you think the price is increased, even suppose that in the COVID-19, the price of mask increases, and our law demand is saying कि when price increases there is low demand, and vice versa if other factors are remain constant. It's clear now? But in the case of COVID-19, there is a more demand of the mask at the high prices. It's clear? But I know that there is the inverse relationship between two. So again and again, I force to him that you say that if price is increases, there is a decrease in the demand. It's clear now? So that is the biasness. And access issue, it's not possible to access easily from in the rural areas, and over stimulations, complex organizations, systematic errors, rapid requirement. These are some disadvantages. Then very important, that is the questionnaire. What is the questionnaire?
सर इंटरव्यू और इंटरोगेशन में क्या है? इंटरोगेट करना और इंटरव्यू क्या है?
इंटरव्यू में आप क्या करते हैं?
नहीं सर, इंटरव्यू में तो अच्छे से बात करते हैं.
क्यों इंटरव्यू में आप सवाल नहीं पूछते?
इंटरोगेट जैसे पुलिस वाले करते हैं सच को जानने के लिए, तो वो भी एक तरह का इंटरव्यू ही है.
interrogation पास of investigation.
ये काइंड ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन, बिकॉज़ इंटीमेशन का सर असर पड़ेगा इंटरव्यू के ऊपर, सर इंटीमेशन का असर पड़ेगा.
Interrogate, interview, both are the same thing. With the help of interview, we can interrogate anything. ना डायरेक्टली आप किसी को पनिशमेंट नहीं दे सकते, आप उससे पूछताछ करते हैं. इट इज द पार्ट ऑफ द इंटरव्यू. आप शेड्यूल बना लें आप उसको बुला के मेहमान बना लें, ठीक है, या आप उसको हड़का के गाली गलौज करके कर लें जैसे पुलिस करती है, ठीक है, थाने में बुला के आप इंटरव्यू लें, दैट इज द टोटली डिफरेंट. Whenever the place is changed, the situation is also changed. Whenever police came at your home and asked something, there might be give your answer correctly. But whenever police called to you at your thana and ask any questions, you may be give the wrong answer.
तो जो एडिक्शन के रिसर्च है प्लस इसकी नंबर पड़ती है.
Addiction means
एडिक्शन में जो ह्यूमन फीडबैक एडिक्शन की बेसिस है उनमें इस तरह की जरूरत स्पेसिफिक होती है इंफॉर्मेशन.
right now it is the general questions. Whenever we go to the doctor like the integral hospital or any hospital, first question is that, are you drinking? You take the liquor? Because it might be lead to the cancer. There is no still there is no find out the main cause of the cancer, but our prediction, our research is saying ki addictions like the tobacco, cigarette, liquor, these are cause the cancers. It's clear. That's why every doctor right now asks you are taking any nicotine, smoking and drinking like that. It's clear na? Interrogation, it is the part of interview. With the help of interview, you can interrogate. Then questionnaire. What is the questionnaire? इसमें भी बेटा वही है, structured questions, structured closed-ended questions, unstructured questionnaire, and basically whenever we want to prepare the questionnaire, there is need to separate into three parts. If you want to make the good questionnaire, if you want to control the data, if you want to control the sample size, there is need to divide all the questionnaire into three parts. It's clear? First part, it is related to our demographic. Demographic means what? Demographic means your profile of the respondent, like the income, education, gender, like that. And second, that is related to direct questions which is related to our objectives. And third part must be related to the attitude, behavior of respondent. It means there should be used 5 or 7 scale Likert, 5 or 7 point Likert scale. Generally people use 5 point Likert scale. It's clear now? So if you want to develop the questionnaire, there should be divide whole questionnaire into three parts. And what are the basic difference between the questionnaire and schedule, and how to get the response from the questionnaire?
The questionnaire generally has a closed-ended format, where schedule we give enough space for the candidate to write their own interpretations about it.
In the case of questionnaire, there is basically use internet like the Google form. With the help of Google form, if you take the information, and if you want to take the information directly from your audience, directly from your sample size, directly from your population, it is known as schedule. There is a basic difference between two. All the questions are the same, even either in the questionnaire or in the schedule. But if method are different, if you float your questionnaire through the Google, through the online, that is that is considered as the questionnaire. And if you contact directly, make the schedule, directly ask to them, this is come under the schedule. And it is depend upon the nature and audience. Suppose that if you want to take the socio-economic condition of the rural people, in that case, our questionnaire is not effective at all. It's clear now? But if you want to know, if you want to investigate the socio-economic condition of the salaried person, of the urban person, in that case, questionnaire might be fruitful. Any doubt? Types of questionnaire. See this one. Self-completed, interview completed. Self-completed means whenever you float your questionnaire through the Google form, means internet, through the postal, through the post office, and through the deliver and collection. These are self-completed because there is no interference of the researchers. All the things are doing from the end of the respondent, from the end of your audience. There is no any interference of the researchers. It's clear now? That's why it is known as self-completed. And self-completed, it is very important because there is the least chance of the biasness. There is very least chance of the biasness. There is chance of getting genuine information because time is no bar. Time is no bar. And in the case of interview completed, like the telephone questionnaire, structured interview, it is also the part of the interview. It's clear now? So it is known as interview completed. Any doubt?
Sir, interview completed को हम क्या schedule कह सकते हैं?
Telephone questionnaire, yes, it is a part of the schedule. If you give the information to them, see, just I want to examine you, so that becomes the schedule. These are the mix up of all the methods. Advantages of questionnaire. Questionnaire lies in their uniformity. All respondents see exactly the same questions. It's clear now? Because it is the structured, it is an inexpensive method because there is no need to reach out that persons. With the help of one internet, we can float a number of persons to the number of persons and free from the bias of the interviewers because there is no role of the interviewers. As the respondent answered the question in his own words, respondent has enough time to think and answer. There is no time bar. Due to its large coverage, respondent living in distant areas can also be reached conveniently. Large sample size can be used. It's clear? These are the some merit. Disadvantages: time consuming. It's obvious clear. The respondent need to be educated and cooperative. Just I told you, if respondent are not cooperative, if respondent are not educated, so ultimately you have to adopt another method to collect the data, and that one is observation method. Possibility of unclear replies. Even educated person are not able to give the answer of all the questions, especially whenever asked from the financial literacy. Whenever any researcher want to get the data regarding the behavioral of the young investors through the digital financial market, through the digital financial platform, in that case there are number of questions which are beyond to myself also. It's clear now? So in that case the rate of non-response is high. So ultimately these are the some disadvantages and some advantages of the questionnaire. It's clear? Any doubt? But being a good researcher, you should think how to make the questionnaire to reduce its limitations, to reduce its disadvantages. If you put the questions in the simple language, if you use familiar words, if your questionnaire is not so lengthy, so all the audience, all the people are ready to give the answer and fill the questionnaire. If your questionnaire become too lengthy, it create the irritation, and people never want to give your answer of your questionnaire. Yes, beta, you want to ask something? Are you getting my point? So, being a good researcher, we should make the ideal questionnaire. There should be hardly 20 questions, and 5 come from the demographic, like the gender, education level, so income level, and areas like that. 4 questions are common, and 3-4 questions from your objectives, and hardly 10 questions from attitude. Hardly 20 questions it is considered as the ideal to questionnaire. Otherwise, no people want to give the answer. Because why they want to give the answer? Every person right now think ki how to get the money, how to make more and more profit. People become more professional. Nobody in case of India go through the ethics. So keeping these things in your mind, should we make the questionnaire at the moderate level. Any doubt?
सर क्वेश्चनर हमने क्रिएट कर लिया और जैसे हमने सैंपल साइज 50 लिया था और हमने सर्कुलेट कर दिया फॉर्म फिल करने के लिए रिस्पांस की नॉन रिस्पांस आई है तो उसमें जैसे 10% या 20%।
अरे आप लोग कहाँ जा रहे हैं? Why you are leaving the class? Yes, come here. How I expect you become a teacher? Do you behave like a children? Why there? Who call you to attend my class? Be seated. Attendance लगाया भाग के टीचर बनेंगे. Even I am not feeling well, but take the class seriously. हाँ आपका
सर मेरा जैसे मैंने क्वेश्चनर सर्कुलेट कर दिया और 50 मैंने सैंपल साइज लिया था लेकिन सिर्फ 50 मार्क्स से हम चीज कर लिया था जैसे बारिश लेकिन जो रिस्पांस आया उसमें सिर्फ 50% का आया तो उसके
सिंपल साइज आपका 50 था और 50% आया 25 था. तो आपकी केस स्टडी और आपकी स्टडी नहीं हो पाई. बट देयर you can do pilot study. What is the pilot study? Yes, like what is the pilot study? बोलो बोलो दोनों कर लो. बोल आगे study. What is the pilot study? Pilot study के नाम सुना है कभी? इंग्लिश. Pilot study क्या होता है? What is the pilot study?
On a relatively smaller sample size. On a relatively sample size. Smaller sample size. Small sample size.
Right here. What are the need and significance of the pilot study?
We want to know, I mean, whether our questions are rightly framed, whether they are sufficient in number, whether they are getting the right responses.
Good. To check the normality, to check the reliability, to check the format of the questionnaire, कि all the questions are reliable or not, to check the multicollinearity. फिर इसे पूछेंगे, what is the multicollinearity? Multicollinearity क्या है? I am suffering from the fever. उसके बाद I am taking the class. Multicollinearity किसे कहते हैं? Even if suppose that you make own questionnaire, there is need to make the pilot study. जैसा उन्होंने बताया कि if suppose that you prepare yourself the questionnaire, there is need to study pilot study to check the normality, to check the multicularity, to check the other things like the reliability like that, with the help of two things like the uh, confirmatory factor analysis and exploratory factor analysis. It's clear now? Uh, AFA and CFA. We can check the normality, reliability and other things and multicularity like that. Multicularity क्या होता है कि suppose that your image is not so clear right now in case of India. आप मेरे पास ऐसा रहा बहुत अच्छा बात है, फिर उनके पास में ऐसा रहा बहुत अच्छा बात है, उनके पास भी गए बहुत अच्छा बात है. पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम में क्या एक आदमी कभी कांग्रेस के झंडा लेके घूम रहा है, कभी बीजेपी का लेके घूम रहा है, कभी नीतीश का लेके घूम रहा है. ठीक है, दिस इज मल्टीकुलर पोलैरिटी है, यूनिटी नहीं है. शुड बी stand in one group. It's clear now? So even if you use the old questionnaire, if you use the questionnaire which are already prepared by others, there is also need to make the pilot study. है या नहीं है? Am I right or wrong? If you make pilot study, why there is need to make the pilot study?
Because variables may have changed from that study period to this study period.
If you keep the same variables, even all the things are same and all the question are well very defined. It's clear now? Even in that case, there is need to check and need to the pilot study because the
whether your design research is
because the in the case of social science, nature of human behavior is highly dynamic.
What I wanted to say,
The attitude of Lucknow is totally different from the attitude of the Banaras people. Therefore, there is need to check the uh, uh, need to the pilot study. Even that questionnaire are highly used by the another person. इसलिए ना अगर खुद से बनाते हैं तो ultimately there is need to check the pilot study. And even if you use the questionnaire of another person, there is also need to pilot study to check the reliability and that period of time for that person, for that region and area. It's clear enough? So it is known as the pilot study.
सर सैंपल साइज 50 है
क्या बोला?
सर सैंपल साइज अगर हमारा 50 है
50 है.
50 ही है तो फिर फाइनल स्टडी का प्रॉब्लम.
अगर टोटल 50 ही सैंपल साइज है एकेडमिक प्योर स्टडी तो आप 90 भी कर सकते हैं. ठीक है.
सर फाइनल स्टडी करते हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ कैसे करते हैं?
आपके पास देखिए आप डेटा कलेक्शन करने चले उनके माइक सपोज दैट कि डेटा कलेक्शन इट इज टाइम कंज्यूमिंग. इट्स क्लियर ना? एंड आल्सो वी नो दैट कि आवर क्वेश्चन इज गोइंग इन प्रॉपर डायरेक्शन और नॉट. इट्स क्लियर ना? तो व्हेनेवर वी कलेक्ट सम डेटा तो देयर इज नीड टू चेक द नॉर्मेलिटी, reliability. It's clear? Multicollinearity. If these things are clear, if the data is normal distributed, it means your question is very proper. It means normal distribution means mean, median, mode. All the things are come at one point. And next lecture, another teacher tell about why there is need to describe the mean, median and mode. It's clear now? Time consuming. Sorry. The respondent need to be educated and cooperative. Possibility of unclear replies and the rate of non-response is high. Schedule. Schedule is the tools or instrument used to collect data from the response while interview is conducted. It schedule there is an enumerator who filled the questionnaire. Enumerator goes to the respondent, asks them the questions from the questionnaire in the order listed and records the responses in the space provided.
Sir, why enumerator is required here? Even researcher can also do it.
You can do yourself, but you suppose that you take the any project of 50 lakh and there is one to cover all India. Your area of study is whole Uttar Pradesh. How is possible to take the respondent by every person? If you make the schedule, so there is need to appoint one helper, which is known as enumerator. It's clear. It depends upon your the size, sample size, nature of the study. Suppose करिए कि आपने प्रोजेक्ट ले लिया from the Indian government, and the project is for 2 years and amount is 50 lakh. Do you want to take all the 50 lakhs in your pocket? There is need some helpers, that is considered as enumerators. It depends, actually sir, it depends upon the nature of the study. What area you want to take. If you want to take all the North India, if you want to take the seven sister of India, seven state of India, like Northeast India, so how is possible to one person is collect whole the data? It's clear now? That's why there is need. You can do yourself also. May I proceed? Difference between two. See this one.
Excuse me, sir. So schedule includes structured and participants.
Pardon?
Schedule.
Schedule includes structured and participant because it requires questionnaires as well as the participant. So we can say that schedule required is a structured and participant.
Both are required. No?
Yes.
Without the structure, how to ask the questions? And there is highly need to the structured questions, because you keep one man as a helper, so that person is very least trainer person. No? So there, whenever we take the respondent from your audience, so there is need to the structured questions and meet to the person. It's clear? No?
Sir, observation method and analytical power ability of the researchers must be high.
Analytical क्या है? What is the analytical?
Observation after, yeah.
What is just I am asking you, what is the analytical statement? Analytical. Analytical. There are in the case of social science, there are two types of study: descriptive and analytical. Analytical and descriptive analysis. Descriptive means describe the answer, but how to describe it? After the analysis. After the analysis. Without the analysis, how to describe? अगर आप डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं, डॉक्टर पूछता तभी तो प्रिस्क्राइब करता है. So asking the question to their patient, it is the analysis about your body, about your disease, and writing the medicine. This is the prescribe. Any doubts? Good example.
Taking the test, then discuss.
Taking the test, उसके दिमाग में क्यों फिर? Why there is need to take the test sample size? This is again the part of the hypothesis, because doctor is not so clear about disease. मेरा RBC कम है. There is need to take the test about LFT, TBC. Why there is need? Because doctor is not sure about my disease. Why there is deficiency in my red bloods.
More information.
that is hypothesis. तो उसके दिमाग में चल रहा है कि मेरा लीवर फंक्शन काम नहीं कर रहा, उसके दिमाग में चल रहा है कि मेरा किडनी काम नहीं कर रहा है, उसके दिमाग में चल रहा है कि ये इनके पास ऑक्सीजन की कमी है, लंग्स काम नहीं कर रहा है. That's why there is a lot of testing. This is the hypothesis, not the example. Any doubt? Any doubt? Everything is clear? Gradually I am feeling tired. Second method of data collection, it's not so important. Secondary data, as we know the secondary data, there are number of sources to get the data, and we can easily, right now, we can easily collect the secondary data without any subscription charge. It's clear now? Especially whenever any student want to research on foreign trade, international trade, we can get easily data. There are number of sites like IMF, International Monetary Fund, like World Bank, and WTO, World Trade Organization, and these provide the data without any cost, free of cost. That's clear? But there should be, keep in mind, key, there are two sources up to get the data, like internal source and external source. If you want to check the performance of any company, we can check through the sales record, profit record, marketing activity. What is the marketing activity? Management student. What is the marketing activity?
Sir, the activity governed to create a brand image of the product or service.
Actually, if you want to check the performance of any industry, so there is not only check ki what are the selling. Only if you check the selling, if you make the record of the selling, it's not possible to check the performance of its company and firm and its industry. There is also need to check how much cost is spent on the marketing. Advertisement, it is the part of marketing. And what are the costs to make anything? It is also need to analyze it. And distributor report and feedback means what are the feedback of the consumer side. These are customer feedback, distributor report and feedback. With the help of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the help of 5 components, any researcher are able to analyze the performance of any company. If you want to analyze the performance of any company, any industry, any firm, you should be keep in mind all these variables like sales record, marketing activity, cost information, distributor report and feedback, customer feedback, like that.
The only research based marketing activity very strong, only research. Because we did all such things to change the perception of our future or current.
Right now, there is very frequently from the HR means human resource ki analyze and study of fala industry regarding the strategies of marketing and consumer perceptions.
Yes,
This is not a new research topic. A number of work already have done. It's clear now? Don't go through this topic.
yes.
Even number of dissertations which are doing in the PG level have done already. This is very old topic. What are the strategies? What are the strategies? अगर strategy पूछा जाए आपसे, what is the strategy? How to define it?
So create an electronic media.
That is the strategy. How to define it?
The strategy is planning of activities based on the possible responses
Tools and
of
techniques,
competitors.
tools and techniques used to increase the revenue of any organization.
In short period of time.
Long, the strategy is for longer period.
Within a stipulated time period.
Sir,
Within a
strategy is
stipulated
the
time period.
competitor को ये study बहुत important है. Unless we know about our competitors, then we cannot ever make a strategy.
Strategy means Yes.
long-term plan.
Extending
Long-term
includes
plan.
due process based on available resources.
It is the best, but just any person want to ask to you कि define strategy. What is the strategy?
Long-term plan made for 5 to 10 years.
It is the long process. It is the long process to achieve your goals. That is the strategy. It's clear? And there are number of ways sales. It's my personal request you don't go through this topic.
I will not wait, sir.
मैनेजमेंट वाले ये करते एक्सटर्नल सोर्स like journals, books, magazine, newspaper, library, internet or website, published data by government or private organization, census, etc. These are external sources of the secondary data. Factor to be considered before using secondary data. It is very important. What factors should be considered before going to use the secondary data? The first one is that reliability of data. What is the reliability of the data? Except you, I am asking others. बता बताइए यहाँ भी reliability in the case of primary data there is also the reliability. Do you think both are the same? Why there is the difference between two?
Sir, there is something called gray paper which we
Authenticity of the source, that is the reliability. It's clear now? You should be cite the reliable source like IMF, World Bank, WTO, government site, census. Don't go through the magazine and newspaper. Even there is a right written here the newspaper. Just from the newspaper you get some idea to develop your topic. Just from the news magazine you can get some idea to develop your topic, but don't go through the journal. Go through the magazine and newspaper. You should be go through the authentic source like the database of IMF, World Bank, WTO and others. This is known as reliability of data and it depends upon your nature of study. If you want to research on the trade, you should go through the IMF and WTO. If you want to go study on the supply chain management factors, obstacle factors between the trade between Afghanistan and India, you should go through the World Bank report. And suitability of data. What is the suitability of data?
similar nature of our interest.
Suitability of data क्या? What is suitability of data? Data should be in one unit. कहीं आप डेटा देते हैं बिलियन में, कहीं देते हैं मिलियन में. It is the often mistake by our researcher. And in the case of India, data is provided through the financial year from 31st March to 31st March to 1st April. But in the case of data from other countries, yeah, from the international organization, data is given through the calendar year, like 1st January to 31st December. So how to make the suitability in between two should be keep in mind. It's clear now? This is come under the suitability of data. and adequacy of data, level of accuracy are differences. So it is not adequate for the study. It's clear now? It should be kept in the secondary data. Two or three things should be kept before going to get collect the data. Key site should be very authentic. It should be matched and suitable in terms of unit, in terms of uh, time, and in the case of adequacy. Like this, this should be keep in mind. Advantages of secondary data. It is easily accessible. It takes low time, low cost of or free, time saving, allow you to generate new insight from previous analysis, longitudinal analysis. What is the longitudinal
Recurrence,
analysis?
recurrence, recurrence,
Occurrence.
recurrence, बार बार.
हाँ वही तो बोल रहा हूँ occurrence. Then तो बार बार करने से मतलब क्या है? Why this? हाँ बेटा. Last, what is the longitudinal?
When we want to track the changes happening in any study before and after.
Good. If all the things are same, means topic is same, variable are same, take audience people are same, only change the time period, extend the time period to get more reliability. That is come under the longitudinal analysis. For example, everything in the social science, it is depend upon the human being, and human nature is highly dynamic, changeable. This time what is applicable, it not sure it is applicable for the next time, or it is applicable for the another region. For example, in the case of science, 2 plus 2 always is equal to 4. H2 plus O always make to H2O, means water. It's clear now? And every water has same taste. Every water from every places has the same taste, has the same color. But in the case of social science, it is depend upon the consumer mind. It's clear? And it is need to check the reliability and applicability time to time. Therefore, there is need to the longitudinal analysis. For example, in the case of COVID-19, there was no law of demand fulfilled. Even at the high price, there is a high demand. And just after the COVID-19, you have seen in 2020 that there is high increase in the demand. Why? And our government say if people have a lot of money, that's why demand has increased drastically just after the COVID-19, drastically changing the demand pattern. Why? What are the reasons behind it? You should think about that. Due to pent up demand. Due to pent up demand. Pent up demand means suppressed demand. During the COVID-19, our demand was suppressed. Even I have need, but no demanded due to the lack of accessibility, due to the some 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 restrictions. But just after the restrictions, when there is the open for the all, drastically changes in the demand, and that demand is not increased due to the increase in our income, only due to pent up demand, due to suppressed demand. It's clear now? So in the case of social science, its method is often used to check the reliability of the law, like the law of demand, like the law of supply and others. It's clear? Disadvantages might be not specific to your needs. You have no control over data, and quality biasness not timely. These are the some demerits. Selection of proper method for collection of data, nature, scope, and object of inquiry. availability of fund, time factor, accuracy required, referencing. You should go through Kothari. If you want to master of RM, you should go through the Kothari. Thank you. Any questions?
सर आपने बीच में बोला था कि क्वेश्चन आया 3 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड होना चाहिए।
जनरली 3 पार्ट में होना चाहिए। अगर आप 4 में कर लेंगे तो हम मना नहीं करने जाएंगे। क्लियर ना? Part means the first that is related to your personal information, which is known as demographic. Second part should be go through your objectives of the study, and third part should be go through the attitude of independent variables. Attitude of independent variables. It's clear now? Any doubt? Any more questions?
सर इसकी पीपीटी
How to close it?
सर हम लोग को ये पीपीटी मिल जाएगा।